Hey everyone! In this video we're going to dive deep into the cost of living, covering everything from eating, sleeping, playing, drinking, getting around the city of Ottawa. But before we get into it, show reel. Hit it! So you're considering living in Ottawa, and what a great choice, as Ottawa is Canada's national capital and there's so much to do and experience. And it's generally an awesome place to raise a family or to pursue a career based on the high quality of life and the comparative cost of living. Now, a big disclaimer here on this channel. Boring. All the information we share is public information. It can be found on the internet. We just find it from reliable sources and share with you so you can make the best choice for you and your family. Did you know Canada ranks often near the top, if not the best, for its quality of life and yet the affordable cost of living? Both Canada and Ottawa offer a living environment that's well above the average for personal security, health services, social connections, environmental quality, transportation, employment, work-life balance, and education. When compared to other countries, Canada ranks right there as one of the safest, cleanest, and most prosperous countries in the world. And on that note, the nation's capital certainly is one of the leaders in these areas. Ottawa is a unique anomaly when compared to so many other cities throughout Canada. Ottawa offers so much to the people that live, work, and play here. Actually, Mercer ranks living in Ottawa with the second highest quality of living of any large city in the Americas, and the 14th highest in the world. Living in Ottawa also means that you'll be living in the second cleanest city in Canada and the third cleanest city in the world. In fact, in 2017, Ottawa was ranked by MoneySense as the best community in Canada in which to live, and it's often found near the top of the list for so many of the other years. When compared to the international stage, Ottawa is one of the top most desirable cities to live. In fact, I was born and raised here myself, and my first house was in Carleton Place. We moved into Canada, we moved to Westboro, lived in Hintonburg, moved back to Westboro, back out to Canada, and we did a few stops in between there. I know the city very well, and I've lived here my entire life. Traveled well across Canada, but Ottawa offers so much to the families that live here and play here and work here that it's just such a great place to raise a family. And my two boys and my wife absolutely love it here. Now let's dig into these cost of living numbers. For a family of four, the estimated monthly cost of living in Ottawa is around $5,200 a month. And for a single person, the estimated monthly costs are around $2,700. But obviously this varies across the city and the surrounding areas depending on where you live. Now, if we break these down, we'll get into the number one. The cost of living is housing. So when it comes to the cost of living in any city, especially for Ottawa, we have to address what we call the elephant in the room. And that's the housing affordability. Ottawa's housing market is currently on fire. Even a global pandemic, which is COVID-19, has not slowed down the growth of the city. In fact, the average price point for the residential home type, including both freehold and condominiums, in May of 2020, last month, was $528,000, which is an increase of 12.4% over the same time last year, which was 2019. The market has really been driven by a severe lack of inventory and a massive pent-up demand, driving home prices up and causing multiple offers and a very competitive seller's market. The average freehold house price in Ottawa in 2020 was $548,000. The average freehold house price in Ottawa in 2020 was $548,000, which is an increase of 11.2% over the same time last year. And the average condominium price in Ottawa is now $342,000. That's an increase of 15.5% from 2019. Prices and style of home vary depending on which neighborhood you choose to move to. If you're curious about certain neighborhoods, or you're curious what the current average sold price is right now, reach out to us. We're happy to help. Or leave a comment below and we'll reply right away. When renting, the majority of rentals in Ottawa are actually handled by privately held chat forums such as Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace, just to name a few. There are some that will trade on the MLS that we as realtors have access to, but they are very, very few and far between. Of the properties that rent in the MLS, the average rental for a 3-bedroom property is around $2,100 a month. A 2-bedroom property is around $1,900 a month. And the average cost for a one bedroom is $1,600 to $1,800 a month. These stats are obviously based on the MLS information that we have access to, but it doesn't take into account the whole private market. A 1-bedroom property is around $1,600 to $1,800 a month. These stats are obviously based on the MLS information that us as realtors have access to, but it doesn't take into account the private market. If you have questions about the market, feel free to reach out to us, or even drop us a comment below. We're happy to reply back. The number 2 cost of living is utilities, electrical. For electrical costs, this is typically called hydro, provided by Hydro Ottawa, or depending on where you live within the surrounding areas, Hydro One. The monthly cost for this usually ranges depending on the usage of all your electrical items. Some people have opted for solar panels, for the government ran a program in the past to provide energy conservation cost savings to many families. But typically, most people use hydro services as opposed to solar panels in the city and up the valley. In our house, we have a family of 4, my wife and my 2 busy boys and our cute little dog. And our monthly costs are generally around $75 a month. Heating, depending again on where you are in the nation's capital, and based on the age of the home of the type of heating will vary. This can be natural gas, propane, oil, electrical baseboard, even geothermal. The costs range depending on usage, but taking my family as an example, we were on gas, known as Enbridge, and our monthly costs are $90 a month, depending on the season. Water costs are usually the most moderate of all your utility costs. If you are in the city and your city connected, then most times the water bill will come with a hot water tank rental. Cost of the water portion is based on consumption. For us, as a family, we're charged every 3 months and typically about $150, which includes the tank rental. There are many neighborhoods in the Ottawa area that are on well and septic, so depending on where you end up going, you may have additional costs involved. The Mantic area is a great example of this. Cable and internet charges also vary. A lot of people are moving away from the traditional cable and phone packages and moving mostly to an unlimited Wi-Fi plan to run their Netflix and Apple TV usage, as well as working with home plans. My family is set up on an unlimited internet Rogers plan that also has 2 cell phones and basic cable package, runs us about $350 a month. The large providers in Ottawa are Rogers and Bell, but there's a lot of competition moving into that area. The number 3 cost for living is transit, which includes your parking, gas, transit. In 2001, the City of Ottawa actually expanded and amalgamated the municipalities of Orleans, Gloucester, Barrhaven, Nepean, and Canada. Others making this one of the largest mass areas in the city of the entire world. It measures 2,700 square kilometers, which means you can almost fit every other major Canadian city into the last land mass coverage. That's crazy to think about. But to give you an idea, here's an image of it. This can totally complicate things in terms of how you travel to work, play, and family time. Luckily, for the most part, the city has been well thought out in terms of transit. And although, like most cities, it's an easy thing for people to complain about too, is traffic. But to be honest, if you want to get anywhere in the city, by car, you're looking at anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes without traffic. With traffic, depends on where you are coming from and where you're going to, and at which time of the day. Each area has its own sweet times to travel and to avoid peak times of peak travel. You just need to know when to depart and plan your day accordingly if you have flexibility. Now, gas rates, as of this month in Ottawa, depending on the season again, this fluctuates. But in February of 2020, it was around 108.4 cents a liter. In March, it was 84.3 cents a liter. In April, it went to 78.3 cents a liter. And in May, it brought back up to 90.7 cents a liter. And just in June, it was 99.4 cents a liter. Now, consider this is COVID time, so there's less traffic. So maybe those are typically a little lower than usual. Now, getting around the city on public transit, and for the most part, is clean. And most parts of the city have great coverage. OC Transpo is actually the provider of the public transit here in Ottawa. And recently, OC Transpo has been modifying its route map as it continues to grow and cut some areas to save costs, but also add additional as the city continues to grow. It's also in the moment of introducing the LRT system, which is our light rail transit system. And this is our four-way into a subway system for Ottawa, which is really exciting. It's coming into a phased approach, and there has been some challenges as they outline the project, but the opportunity of what it's going to bring to the city of Ottawa is going to be massive into the future. Because once it's up and running, it's going to be a great addition for people to get around. It's going to take congestion off the highway. It's just going to be great. Now, a monthly pass for the OC Transpo in June 2020 is around $119, but there are discount rates available for students and seniors as well as others. Number 4, taxes. Taxes is one of the two certainties in life. In Ottawa and Ontario, the provincial tax is 13% HST. HST stands for Harmonized Sales Tax. This is charged on top of services such as groceries, clothing, any of those kind of items. There are some exceptions, but a good rule of thumb is 13% across the board. When you purchase a property in Ontario, you will be charged a land transfer tax, and this is based on the purchase price of the property. There is a formula that they use, and you can find that easily online with different calculators to help to get the exact amount for what you might be buying. You won't be charged HST though on the purchase of a home if it's a private sale or if it's a resale property, only if you're involved with a corporation. And of course, resort to your lawyer as well as your realtor to help you out. If you have any questions, we're certainly here to help. Now, if you buy and if you've never owned a property before, you will be acceptable to the new home buyer program tax credit. You can take advantage of this, and this can actually save you upwards of $5,000. When you own property in Ontario, you will pay a property tax. These taxes pay for services such as public education, firefighting, local police, libraries, among many other things. The tax is calculated through 3 areas of municipal, education, and property. Income taxes in Ontario are a combination of both the province of Ontario as well as the federal government. You can see on these on-screen tables that taxes can be a complicated process, and we always recommend working with a great accountant to help you out. Number 5, groceries. In terms of groceries in Ottawa, it is very similar to all the other major cities across Canada. Larger grocery stores are going to carry an abundance of options and varying price points. Depending on your discerning your palate or your diet, most options are available to you from Whole Foods, organic boutique shops, etc. Due to how multicultural Ottawa is, we have a large variety of food options for everyone. Number 6, healthcare. We are very fortunate with the healthcare level in Ottawa. From larger major hospitals such as the Civic Hospital, the General Hospital, the Riverside Hospital, the Queensway Carleton Hospital, the Montford, plus others. We also have specialized facilities that are only unique to Ottawa, such as a world-renowned Heart Institute. There are also plenty of private facilities open to public offering services. Finding a doctor or a dentist can sometimes be a challenge in certain areas of the city, but there are opportunities depending on your location and your network. Just reach out and neighbors will certainly help out and guide you in the right way. Number 7, weather. Now, why would weather show up in the cost of living episode? Well, the truth is winter is a large part of life here in Ottawa. In fact, Ottawa experiences 4 very, very distinct seasons, from winter, spring, summer, and fall. It is one of the most beautiful things about the city. Also, one of the challenges we live through. The average July maximum temperature is 26.6 degrees Celsius, which is about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. But it can easily get to 33 degrees Celsius during hot, humid summer days. Actually, I'm up at the cottage right now, and it's the middle of July. It is absolutely scorching hot. Yesterday it was 37 degrees. Just unbearable, but I loved it because you can swim, which is great. These extremes in weather increase costs from living, from clothing, transit, parking, utilities, and more. The total amount really does vary from person to person, but it's something to consider when factoring in your overall budget when living in Ottawa. Number 8, childcare. Childcare costs in Ottawa can be significant given the lack of available care services. Prices vary across the city. In 2017, a national survey of childcare fees found that Ontario cities had the highest median full-time center-based and regulated home childcare infant fees in the country at $1,700 a month, or $21,000 for the year. Number 9, employment. Ottawa has a steady and growing economy, which is led by the federal government and the high-tech sectors, along with the very strong health and education sector. The median household income in Ottawa is $105,000, with an unemployment average rate in 2020 at 5.8%. These factors have created a bustling employment industry, allowing newcomers and residents the opportunity to build a life in Ottawa. Number 10, discretionary, including your entertainment, your shopping, your dining out. Ottawa has so much to offer. I mean, 10, 15 years ago, Ottawa was kind of considered a sleepy government town. But as the city continues to grow, it attracts new cultures, attracts new talent from different cities. And restaurateurs come here and want to put their stamp on the Ottawa cityscape, which is wonderful for us because we get to really enjoy it. In fact, my wife and I went for dinner last night to this wonderful taco place. It's just unbelievable, some of the restaurants that are out there right now. We really have to get into these neighborhoods to really just experience how great they have and everything that they have to offer, which is really awesome. We absolutely love Ottawa and Canada, and we're delivering new videos each and every week on this channel. So make sure to tap that subscribe button and click the bell to be notified every time we do a new video. Until next time, see you soon.